More minutes, Allison, before we bring you up. And let's get the people in the room. We're going to play some more music. Because tonight, baby, it's going down. Hey, dear bestie, sourdough. My sourdough bestie. Did you see my epic fail? I'm so proud of my epic fail. It was still tasty. I don't care. It's always a learning experience. So if you are new here, you probably don't know that I do a lot of healing. Everything is related to healing, from making bread to going to work. Everything, one laundry load at a time, it doesn't matter. Everything is a healing experience. I take them all very seriously. And tonight I'm bringing up my therapist, Allison Smith. Dr. Allison Smith is in his house. Dr. Allison Smith is a licensed therapist. She'll tell you more about herself. But baby, listen, she got me on the path. What you say, we always learn just as much from the fails. Absolutely. 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 I've learned so much from the bread failures that when I actually get one done, I just end up crying. It's very emotional. I love it. So anyway, tonight we're going to be talking about core values, accountability, and the way our minds can twist things when we're hurting through cognitive distortions. She's going to bring you lots of information. I got a few questions to ask her. We're just going to get to it. All right, y'all here for that? Because I'm going to tell you right now, knowing your core values, if you are having trouble with relationships, you keep ending up in the same relationship time and time again. You don't know what's going on. You've done your best. You've given your all, and you're still stuck living with this pain, this hurt, abandonment. You've tried to heal, but have you ever been the person in a relationship that says, I don't need much? I've only been in one relationship in my entire life where somebody even asked me what I needed. And I had no answers for her. And because I had no answers, I got nothing. I got breadcrumbed. But if I had known what I needed ahead of time and been able to present that, I think things would have gone quite differently. Even if we didn't end up together, things would have been different. Less heartbreak. Because when someone knows what you need instead of those silent expectations, they can't know unless you know. So let's get into it. So, Allison, are you ready? Can I go ahead and click that button? How to do it? Wait a minute, y'all. Y'all know myself. I have not done this. Let me figure out where the button is. I'm gonna figure it out. Y'all give me a minute. There we go. Let me turn my music down. Wait, you're not ready? Okay. Well, we'll keep jamming to the music till you get ready. Till you get ready, Doc. This is your time. Thank you, Rachel. Just let me know when you're ready. So, what is that song? I'm sorry. Music catches me off guard sometimes because sometimes I be having things on my list that I don't remember putting there. It's dope, though. Oh, Black. I think we need some music that's a little bit more. I don't know, more what? What do I need it to be more of? Because we about to have therapy. Well, not sexual therapy. That was the name of that song. Wait a minute. Maybe Eyes Wide Open? I don't have any. Good evening, Dragonfly. How are you? Ooh, that's it. Are you guys ready to have a beautiful life where you learn and you heal and grow? Because it's about to go down. This woman has brought me from out the mud. I'm talking about I was on the ledge right there. Right there. And she was able to speak life into me. So, and listen and teach. I can't wait for her to tap in. Come on, Allison. Where you at? Let's get it. We're gonna jam to this song for a second before she get in. She's pretty timely, so we're gonna give it till 6 p.m. anyway. Let's see. Y'all like my coffee cup? Your platform. First of all, Trey, read like you speak English. Would you say your platform is high vibration indeed? You are a healer. Well, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'll receive that. You know, my only real goal is to help my community because I know what it's like to be basically in the dark about having words to put to things that you're actually doing and feeling, or someone devaluing you, and and it's time when people come to devalue you and make you question your worth, and you're proving yourself, and all of this will be eliminated a little bit. I ain't gonna say completely, because people gonna do what they do with manipulative traits and whatnot. But when you know what your core values are, things begin to shift because you're moving with a certain level of, let's get into it. Let's get into it. Oh, that means I can't use this though, because I won't be able to.
They want to know more. They want to get to know you better. Yep, on a romantic level. So let's just say this is a friend for you guys. They don't want to just be friends. They don't. They want more.
Is that
They
on
want
your side? What just happened, Allison?
I don't know. Was my thing? Was something playing on the side?
I don't know what that was. It wasn't me.
It must have been YouTube from playing from earlier.
Okay. Hello, welcome in, Allison, Dr. Allison Smith. How are you?
How are you doing, Trey?
Awesome. No, just baking bread and doing my thing.
I know. Did it come out decently?
It's tasty, but it's not presentable. You'll see the video.
Oh, no.
It's not presentable. I gotta work that thing out. It looked like bread soup.
I probably didn't help with that with the phone call. Probably was disturbing your peace. I'm sorry.
No, not really. I just didn't know what I was doing. It was the first time. It's okay. So
Yep.
go ahead and introduce yourself. Tell the people about you.
Oh my God, I should say hate. My name is Allison Smith. I'm an LPC in Georgia. Yeah, go to my link in the bio on BetterHelp. I think it's probably better because it's so much. I talk about myself. It's like I'm this and I'm that. Just go to BetterHelp and read the description. I'm cool.
He is.
No, I've been doing this for a long time. I've been a therapist. I've been working in mental health since 2010, but I've been a licensed provider since 2017.
All right. Okay, well, let's start with something simple. When you think about core values, what are the ones that you actually live by? The ones that you, not the ones you wish you lived by, but the ones you actually live by, and what really comes up for you with them?
So that's a good question. Because core values are different for everybody. So for me, my personal core values, I kind of stick to the Air Force ones, and that's something we were talking about earlier. So like my life core values are integrity, service before self, and excellence in all we do. I got those from the military. But for romance, that's what I was talking to you about earlier. I learned that I didn't have good core values in the romance department. I didn't have them at all. And if you don't have good core values, then you're going to have bad boundaries. So as I was saying earlier, I had good core values for like my career. Mm-hmm. You know, I study, I know how to get the books, sit down, take the notes, do the things. But hence service before yourself, excellence in all we do, and the things that I got. But in relationships, I realized that wasn't the case. My core value was more of a mission statement. I want to have someone who cares for me. I want someone who loves me. It was more like statements. They weren't core values. Like I want honesty. I want trust. I want, good communication skills. And so when I didn't have those core values, as we talked about earlier, you know what happens.
Right.
I'm liberated because now I don't have a core value. Now whatever you value, that's what I'm going to do. Because remember, my core value is my mission statement, which is just love. That's not enough.
Right. I agree. I think for me, it was basically the same thing. I knew I really felt heavily about commitment, integrity, honesty, loyalty, faithfulness, but I didn't know how to apply that to boundaries and relationship. I just know how to move in it. I didn't know how to put words to what I needed to say to a partner to like, this is what I need, you know? Um, and I think that really started with family when I started creating boundaries with family. And then it kind of is starting to slowly like my bread dough swell up into the rest of my life. So I totally get that.
Question though, I think I'm still finding that out, and that's something we're talking about that earlier. As a therapist, people think that you should already have that figured out, and that's not necessarily true. So in other areas, yeah, spinning great, but maybe in another area, maybe not so much. So I think that's something people can give themselves grace for is one, identifying that, hey, I don't have good core values in this area. I really don't know what I believe in or what I really want, and just being comfortable with that so that you can find them. Be comfortable with that, the I don't know part. That I don't know part really bothers people, which goes into that, we're gonna talk about those cognitive distortions, the I don't know, the fear of the unknown.
Yes. Oh God. Those, oh God, those are the ones, aren't they?
Yes.
How do you know when you're going against your core values? Like what is like one of like a keynote things that you think is going on maybe in your body or your mind when you're going against the grain, like when we're doing that thing where we're saying we're just gonna do what you want.
I think one, you have to feel it in your body. That's what me and you talked about in therapy. Is one, noticing in the body. Is my stomach hurting? Is my head hurting? Am I feeling sharp pains in my chest, my arms, my leg? For your body will give you a signal, give you a warning that something's happening. It doesn't necessarily mean it's that person. It could mean it's you know?
Mhm.
But it's your alarm system going off. And that's what therapists are like, trying to get people to come to therapy to start realizing that your body is giving you sensations. But we feel them, but they don't know what to do with them. Does it make sense? So I think that's the first starting point, is realizing what's happening in the body, and then questioning what's happening in the body without blaming the first. First, kind of introspecting, where is this coming from? Why is my chest beating so, my stomach tight? Why is my chest beating so hard? Why am I feeling this way when they said this statement?
I
Because it could
agree.
be a core value that's being crossed. It doesn't have to be, but it could.
And it's having the ability to do that self-reflection, I think, is important to take a pause and let it land and see what's contracting and why and where did it start and where are the echoes coming from. I've had to go through all of those emotions. And vice versa, when someone is in alignment with my core values, I'm just now learning what that actually feels like.
Yeah, that part. Right, right. Because that can feel a little strange too. Because when you here's the problem with core values and boundaries. Because once you start naming your core values, then you have to start having your boundaries. But that may make it.
Wait, we can't hear you.
Does it make sense?
Okay, we couldn't hear anything you just said.
Sorry, I had somebody call. I thought I had on Do Not Disturb. I said that just makes it where you can't. It makes it hard for. It really makes it hard for you to decide what you want to do with the person, because how
Yeah.
can how can you when you don't have any good core values? Like and now as soon as there's a problem that comes up into the space, as soon as there's a problem that comes into the space, what happens? You tell your audience to come on, you do it. You do it.
You get filled with anxiety. You don't know where to go next. You don't know how to resolve any conflict between the two of you because all these boundaries have been crossed. You don't know what to do. I'm sure we've all been there a time or two at some point in life where you just love this person and you just really don't even know what to say to them because you don't even really know what's going on inside of you. You don't even know that it's been crossed because you've never really sat with yourself to understand what it is. We
Right.
moving in survival mode all the time, so it's kind of like hard to be like, "Ooh, pause. That's not right." And then typically, if you're doing these things, you're with someone that's not going to take accountability for it anyway. So there's that.
That part. Do you want? Are you trying to go there already? Why you being just?
I'm
Why you
just
trying?
saying,
Why you
you're
trying
going
to
to
go
end
there?
up with the emotionally
Did you bring this
unavailable
up
person.
already? Did you go there already? I
I
love
mean,
this.
anyway, it's a part of the pattern in how we learn though. Like what I've really considered is that by not being able to express what my core values are and what my boundaries are and what my needs are in the beginning of any connection and or friendship, workship, whatever. I even had to apply it to business because like if I take on a new client and they don't know what my prices are and the a la carte things, they just coming in thinking it's a standard little, hold on, you asked for some extra stuff.
I'm gonna show you something real quick. Hold on. I'm gonna flip my screen around. Hopefully you can see it. So, all right. Are you able to see it?
Core values, yes.
So when I say core values, I don't think people understand. There's so many of them to choose from. When we talk about relationships, do you value empathy? If your partner has a hard time with empathy, or let's say they have empathy, but you need more of that, their level is like maybe they're at a 2, but you need someone like at a 9 with empathy. This is going to be a problem. So that's why you have to truly know your core values yourself. But before I interrupted, it's being able to say no, because if the person's not giving you this, you have to say no to yourself. And that's what sucks. That's where the pain comes in. That's where we go to the next portion of this. When you realize that your core values are being crossed, then you have a choice. Do I stay in this relationship or not? That's when we start making compromises. But what happens if you keep compromising accountability or adaptability or whatever? What happens if you keep doing that? If you keep compromising what you say you need? Because a core value is not something that's a want, it's a need. This means I have to have this in order to have emotional stability in my life. If the person can't provide that, which is not their fault per se necessarily, that just may be how it is, you have to say no.
Mm-hmm.
And that gets hard. And that gets
stay anyway. Would you consider that the portion where we begin to shrink and bend and fold and disappear?
Right. Absolutely. So if I value, let's say I have a lot of faith. Let's just say my core value is faith, and I believe Jesus Christ is my Lord and Savior. And no matter what happens, it's what I'm praying about everything. Jesus. But my partner is kind of agnostic. They don't really have the same faith level. But I'm continuing to stay in that relationship, knowing full well that I love Jesus and he's my Christ, Lord and Savior, and they don't. Staying and saying, I'm going to pray that away, that could be an issue for you because it's your core value,
right,
not theirs.
Right.
So these are a lot of yeses and nos. This is where boundaries get hard. This is why people go to therapy, because once you realize, oh crap, I don't value what they value, or at least not on the same level, and no one's budging. They value this and I value this. We got a problem. We got a stalemate.
Absolutely.
So I hope that helps with that portion.
And with each one of my core values, I've actually like I have the high points, the bullet points, and then underneath them it's a clear description, because it's really easy for two people to think that they have the same core value because it's titled the same. Commitment. Okay, but commitment to you might just mean that you show up for work every day.
Exactly.
It might mean something completely different to me.
Somebody may value honesty, but they only value honesty is if you ask them. You didn't ask me, so I didn't have to be honest. So that's why the level of honesty, you have to know your core value with that too.
Right, and understanding what the different terminologies mean. And I think people need to start having more in-depth conversations with their partners and people they're connecting with to truly understand what these things are that people are valuing. Someone can value freedom. And for me, freedom means I just want to be free to be myself. I don't need freedom to be in the street. I don't need freedom. You know what I mean? It's not about going to jail. It's really about just freedom to be myself, whatever that may be in the moment. And other people's freedom is I want to be free to date whoever I want, whenever I want, and you not be mad.
That's what they value. If freedom for your person looks like I don't want to lock myself into this commitment, I don't want to lock myself. I need to be able to have choices. They value freedom. You value commitment. That's okay. That person's not bad. That person's not good. They can just go on their way. You can find someone who wants to be committed, and they can find somebody who is okay with a more polyamorous type of lifestyle, because that's what it sounds like.
Right. Definitely misaligned.
That would be, yeah.
It's how you determine alignment and misalignment. Let me put it that way.
Yeah.
What else do I have here? Where do you see people most often lying to themselves about their values? I think we just kind of hit on it a little bit.
Yeah.
But as a therapist, what do you typically see?
I see people. Which one lied about their values or boundaries? Which one you want? Which one you want?
We'll go with values. We'll go with values because if we go to boundaries, we're probably gonna get way too
Oh
far
my
off.
God, I'm gonna make some people mad. Oh my God, I'm sorry. I don't want to make nobody mad, but people
Okay,
say
we
they
need some
value
here.
stuff. They don't value it. They don't, and they do. It's always that moment in therapy when they have to do the admitting that I said I value that, but I really don't. So your actions speak louder than your words, as they always say. When let's talk about how people get with the. Let's talk about avoidance, right? Avoidance actually are really great at their values.
Yeah.
Avoidant attachment people, for all the avoidant attachment, they know what they want. They're very clear on their boundaries as far as like on their values. They do. They know what they want. They know what they don't want. So much so that they able to tell you what you should and should not be doing, right? And that's again those should words. I actually that runs me into to the segue.
Cognitive distortion.
Yeah, because the should word is wrapped around there. Whenever you hear the should word, that's a cognitive distortion. You should do this. You should do that. I should have done this. I should have called. I should have wrote. I should have did this. You should have said this. You should have said that. You have to be careful with that word. Whatever word that you're using, that needs to be a rule, because that's where your expectations are going to come from. Right? Because remember, you got these rules and standards. I got standards. I have expectations. That's absolutely okay. Everybody can have those. You have to be careful those should statements, because when you use the word should, it better be a rule. I should not drink and drive. I should not unalive people. You should not touch people when they don't want to be touched. These are run with scissors in your mouth. These are rules because they keep you safe. Hence boundaries. But when you're using these should words in regular conversation, regular day to day, talking to your partner, what you should do this and you should have done this and you should have did this and you should have said this, you are controlling and is a cognitive distortion. You can go look it up. In fact, let me pull it up while you do that. You take the hymn, I'm gonna pull it up so people can see I'm not making this up. It's not me.
What I know about the should statement is like enduring someone telling you everything that you should be doing differently. It is very controlling, and you can feel it and you can sense it, but you can't really put your finger on it because you're really
Correct.
usually if you're with an avoidant, you're anxious, so you're in anxiety. You can't really tell until later on. But what I remember experiencing is being told to be something that I'm not, being unable to be authentic, continuously shrinking because I'm being told what I should and should not be doing or thinking or being or saying. And after a while, it just kind of wears you out. Is it there?
Yep, I got it. All right. So as you can see, where's this from? But I can pull it up on. You can look at on any website. I just happened to pull up this one because it's really anywhere. But these should statements, as you can see, is a verb, and we use it a lot. And it helps you critique someone. You should have did this, and you should have did that, and you should have did this. And people think they're helping you by giving you this advice, what you should have done, but it's absolutely toxic. And because what it does is it puts the person in a mental jail immediately, right away. So you should have done this, because now they feel guilty because they broke a rule. That's what the should statement means. You broke a rule. You should not have done that. No, no, no. People who are in the my little narcs, my avoidant people, my gaslighters, people who are in that personality type, they do this. This is what they do. And I don't like to use the word narcissist too loosely, but since I am a therapist, I guess I can use it. And I'm personalized and I specialize in personality disorders, particularly borderline personality disorder and narcissistic personality disorder. And people who are in high egos, if you don't like the narcissist word, they use these words a lot, the should statements, because they keep them very safe. Because if you're breaking rules, then they're not breaking rules. Then you're guilty and they're innocent. And it's very simple. You can go Google this for yourself. Look, and this is also, we do this to ourselves. I should be happy. I should be rich. I should aim. I should lose weight. We have to be careful with these should words. And you can point this out to somebody. I've pointed this out to someone and showed them about the should statements, and they said to me, "Yeah, I know I shouldn't say that." And said it anyway.
They put the shit in it.
Like they said, I know I shouldn't say that, and did it anyway. Right. Like, so that some people just don't care about this literature.
One person was probably me, because I'm my biggest critic.
No, it wasn't you. It was someone else. But yeah, definitely. This is a good one. They have a whole article on it, but there's 8 to 9, 10 different cognitive distortions. Let me see if I can pull up the picture of them yet. But you really do have to challenge the negative thinking with that. Instead of saying should, you want to say things like I could. This would be better if. I would like it if. This would be more exciting. Or this would have been a better opportunity if. Something like that.
Right. I had to do that with my fitness. Well, I had to disconnect it from everything emotional, and then I had to change it from I have to lose weight, I can't get fat, I should. I took it and I really dissected it, analyzed it, and alchemized it into I'm just going to keep a promise to myself. Mm-hmm. I've been keeping promises to everyone around me. My core values have been run amok. How about I just maintain promises to myself, and then maybe outside my body, they'll be held up. Right. So I put my butt up at 5 o'clock in the morning, and I go to the fitness center, and I do my yoga, and I do my yin yoga, and I lift weights, and I get on the treadmill, and I put my 20-pound weights on. Like, I'm doing the work physically, mentally, and emotionally. Right. Because I deserve it. Right. Not because I should, but because I deserve it.
I love that. I love the alignment. You've been doing so much work. You're making me all proud. Look at me. I'm over here smiling because you were just like, I'm all proud of her. That's why I'm smiling. She's been doing such great work. Amazing. But yeah, that's core values. When you have these should statements, you have to be careful with the core values and should statements too, because you have to ask yourself, is this really something that I should be doing? Because that's a rule. Like, I should pay my bills. I should put gas in the car before I get on I-20. Those are should statements. That makes sense. I should brush my teeth. I should make my bed. But, I should have graduated before now. No. I should be further along by now. I should have had kids by now. I should be married by now. No.
You are always where you're meant to be.
The should statements. They just don't work. So you have to find another way to speak to yourself. Again, internal dialogue.
Yeah. I was going to ask, how do cognitive distortions show up in everyday relationships? But I think you just proved exactly how, because that's an example of that is someone saying something like, you should have went to the grocery store today. Mm-hmm. But you don't know what my day was even like.
Well, you had time. You should have went.
You should never have taken that call.
Whoa.
How would I have known that if some things just have to happen in order for us to even have a conversation about how to go forward. We have these silent expectations that are really insane sometimes.
Struggle with that. Some people have an idea. So a lot of the clients that I see, they have an idea in their head, right? Of how things should go, those expectations. And when they don't meet that expectation, they get very, very, very upset. And then they begin to shift and do some of those defense mechanisms. There's about 20 of them. Yeah, there's about 20 defense mechanisms. You want to get into them? There are a lot.
Please,
That's a whole thing. Defense mechanisms. The first one will be denial.
Sorry. I'm sorry. Some of this is hitting. Is hitting spurts, spaces, portions, and woo.
Yeah, let's get into. Let me find my little image of my little people. I love it.
It might be. Let me see if I can guess. Denial, deflection, projection.
Yeah, we got them all. I'm looking at them now. Yeah, we have denial. That's the first one. Of course, that's obvious. That's just no, that didn't happen. Just outright lie. Just no. The next one's projection. Projection comes from a mental cognitive distortion called a mental, like, jumping to conclusions. or mind reading. That's, yeah, mind reading is what they call it. When you mind reading is like you assume the other person is going to be doing what you would do or what you think people would do. So it's really, it comes from within. So again, I'll use a classic one. People being homophobic and they have an internalized homophobia. That's a classic projection. That's one we all know. But on a smaller scale, in a conversation, let's say someone's jealous and they have jealousy issues or insecurities, they may want to check your phone because they feel that you're doing something because they themselves are doing something or they've had experiences like that in the past. So either way, it's a projection, whether it's from their baggage they're bringing in or they're actually doing something. So that's projection at its core. Regression is when you revert back to earlier behavior. So most people think of like childhood behavior, sucking your thumb, bedwetting, things like that. Yeah, but you can also revert back to ways such as like being 50 and then all of a sudden you're acting like a 20-year-old kid. You know what I'm saying? You're out here, yeah, you're out here acting like you're 20 years old. So that can be regression in that way too. Then we have acting out. That's punching walls, kicking, screaming, yelling, cussing at people, F you, F bombs, all that. That's considered acting out. Hitting walls, yeah, all of that. Yeah, grabbing things, throwing things. That's acting out. That's
Okay, so that's not a normal behavior. Like, so I think there was a little discrepancy in my mind because I know as women, specifically Black female women, well, the female woman, but Black females predominantly, but women in general, we have always had to suppress our anger.
Yeah, for sure.
And then I know that we go through phases of sitting in our anger and expressing it. Would you say that throwing things and hitting walls and all of that is kind of like a little bit extreme?
Absolutely. Of course, it's a defense mechanism, right? So they're, and let's talk about defense mechanisms for a second before we continue. I want to circle back. Defense mechanisms come from protecting the ego. Okay. If a defense mechanism's up here, the ego's out. Defense mechanisms are not bad or negative in and of themselves. Okay. So a defense mechanism, all the things that we're going to talk about, they're not bad. Let's not black and white this. Okay. They're here for a reason. They do protect you. So I'm going to try to give some examples on when you would want to do this. Obviously, if you want to deny something, if it's a dangerous situation, you're going to say no. If somebody has a weapon to your, you know what I'm saying? You're like, no, right? So this is not a bad thing. But but there's 3 types of anxieties, okay? So so the ones that we name, if you find yourself, listen up, if you find yourself doing any of these, it's because of your ego coming out, okay? The first one, you have your neurotic anxieties. Neurotic anxieties come from anywhere, okay? They could be because the person in 4th grade had said, ooh, boo-boo head, when you had walked past, and now every time when you walk in, you think your head is big. Like, those are neurotic anxieties. They come from people picking at you about your weight, your teeth, your hair, your color, your skin, and so having anxieties around that. Those are neurotic anxieties, okay? Those are yours, tailored to you, your cup of tea. Then we have real world anxieties. That is going to the car, brushing your teeth, laundry, bills, doctor's appointment, things that you absolutely have to get done. Things that if you don't do, this body will not do well, okay? You gotta do it, right? That's real world anxieties. And the last one, my absolute favorite, moral anxieties.
Moral?
This is the one you're talking about right here. This is the one you're like, so is this okay?
That might have been why it hit me when you said it. I'm like, wait a minute, that's right up my, okay, go ahead.
Yeah, neurotic anxieties, so moral anxieties are different. They come from your home of origin, your culture. They come from a gambit of things, but basically home of origin, where you're built, your core values, what you value. So let's say someone is accused of cheating, right? But they're not cheating. And morally, they're afraid of someone thinking that they're cheaters. They may go, oh, no, I'm not cheating. Why would you say that? Oh my God. They may start getting super,
because I was triggered just by you doing it. Whoa, I gotta let that shit land. Ooh, I did not realize I mean, I know, but you're putting words to an event and experience. That was different.
Yeah, yeah. Take a breath. Where do you feel it in your chest? Yeah, yeah. Breathe. Three deep breaths in. Let it out through the belly, please.
So I remember it happening, and I wasn't even inferring that. I was just kind of asking about something else, and that thing just popped out. I was like, "So y'all not friends?" Like I don't. All right then. Uh,
It is what it is. It is
and I
what
think
it is.
because I think I probably project the least because I don't really have much to project other than good things, right? So I'm always giving people the benefit of the doubt, and I always think good things about people, and I don't even consider how cruel or how underhanded a person can be because I can't perceive it. So I'm not just like, oh, you doing this, and I'm like, where did that? Why would I even say that's what you? That was the furthest thing from my mind.
That would be projection. So the reason why they said that is because that's something that they had on the inside, and it came out. That's what it is. It's nothing else. It's classic projection. I can show you the diagram. All right. Disassociating. We know a lot of anybody who has any type of bipolar disorder, whether it's bipolar 1, bipolar 2, any of the personality disorders, they all disassociate. Disassociation is basically when you feel disconnected from your body, physically, emotionally, or otherwise, and it's almost like you're like floating in the body. Some people describe it as floating in the body or just not being grounded in the body. And so that's good for emergency situations. Like I guess it's a great defense mechanism. If pew pew things are going on, you don't need to be in your feelings. You need to be out. You need to be into director mode. But when the body doesn't turn back off of director mode, turn back into yourself again, getting disconnected. And that sounds for people who've never been disassociated, it can sound super weird. But if you ever disassociate, you know what I mean. It's like you're observing your world while being in your world. You're not really here. You know, people typically experience it doing heightened experiences where their amygdala turns on, fight, flight, fawn, or freeze. And once they go into a stress response, that could definitely keep them out of the body for a while. And if they don't do things to come back into the body, they can stay there or easily get taken back out, even when they come back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've experienced both sides, not knowing what was happening and not being able to come back into my body right away and being able to control it when I need it.
Right.
That
Yeah,
came with time though.
and that's another skill too. We'll talk about that another time. But a lot of these things,
That comes with CPTSD.
yeah, because these things can be used for your advantage too. Because disassociation, I know a lot of actors use this as as a framework when they're getting into character. They disassociate from who they are and associate with another personality, but they do it on purpose. Like I said, these are not all bad. Reaction formation. This is when you pretend to be something that you're not. I hate the word using pretend, but it's just not congruent. So let's say having a breakup, but you tell everybody that you're okay when you're really sad. That's a perfect example of reaction formation. Is it needed? Yes. If you're at work and you're doing a job, let's say you're a nurse with a needle and someone's like, you look very sad. You're like, nah, I'm good. Is that reaction formation? Technically, yes, but it's a defense mechanism because you need it right now. Your ego's at work and you're working. So your ego came out and said, no, I'm good.
Yeah.
Do you see why it's like not bad per se? It's okay.
I mean, I'm a barber. I don't have a choice. I got the
Right.
looks
It's
on
like,
their face. They don't want to know that I'm heartbroken and break down
right.
crying
They
at
don't
any
care
moment.
about your heart. Right. I'm a therapist. You think people care about me having a breakup? They could care less if I'm going through a breakup. So I'm fine, right? It is what it is. But it's not bad. I am fine. I need to put that to the side for a moment and do my job.
Right.
The next one's avoidance. That's obvious. We do this in a more natural way physically. If the stove is hot, you get burned. We begin to avoid it. If you eat broccoli and you have a bad reaction, you're going to avoid it. The same thing is with people. If you have an experience with someone and you don't know what to say to them or what to do, you may start avoiding them. Just avoid them altogether. Avoid phone calls. Avoid talking to them. Just avoid. Again, that's a defense mechanism because the ego doesn't want to deal with whatever that is. Compartmentalization. Compartmentalizing. These are people who like to put this in a box. This is over here, and that's over there, and that's down there, and that has nothing to do with that over there. But compartmentalizing, I think, is a little bit of black and white thinking, or a lot bit of black and white thinking. It's not completely, but it leads into there. But it's like you put everything in these different little sections as if they don't have anything to do with each other, and that's just not true. Everything overlaps.
I'm trying.
Everything overlaps. You cannot compartmentalize. People try it, but it doesn't work that way. You know, I'll put the abuse over here, and I'll put my relationship over here, and I'll put that over here, and the dogs over here, and we'll all deal with them all separately on separate days until they all come crashing down in one day.
Or I wasn't withholding. I'm asexual.
Oh,
I'm sorry.
No, that's another one too. Yeah, no, that is. It is. That's compartmentalizing to a bit. You know, but
I'm authentic. All right, I'll stop.
You are so great. Repression, which leads me to repression.
Just gonna look at my notes.
Look at your notes. Repression, everybody. For people who repress, repression is there's suppression and repression. Suppression is when you do it yourself, when you don't like the memory, you don't like the thought, you slept with somebody you didn't want to sleep with, you said the thing that you said you didn't want to say, so you try to push the memory out of your mind as if it didn't happen because it's better to not remember it. It didn't happen. Just don't remember. Just push that bitch over here.
Just gaslight myself real quick.
Suppress it. Didn't happen. Repression is when your brain does it for you. This is more linked to childhood abuse, sexual abuse, those type of things, where your brains, you as a child or as a young person, or even just a very bad experience as an adult, your brain says, I don't like that, so I'm going to forget parts of it or all of it. And so it starts dropping parts of your memory. Your hippocampus literally starts deleting files, like Control Alt Delete starts deleting stuff. Now, realistically, it's still there, but it would take a hypnotherapist to bring it back out because or trauma. Or a reminder. Somebody's in trouble.
All I had to do was drive by a house, and I was like, Mom, how old was I when we was living in that house? She was like, you were like 1. How you remember? I was like,
Trauma. Memories, a smell, a sound, a touch, a smell, anything can bring it out. For sure. But some memories are buried very, 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 very deep. And even if the person doesn't have access to the memories, they'll still have wow reactions to it as if they were still sexually assaulted or whatever else, even though they don't carry a memory of it. Because the body remembers. And for those of you that don't know what I'm talking about, you can read the book, The Body Keeps the Score. The body remembers everything.
That book was very helpful to me.
Yeah.
That book pushed me further into taking yoga at any cost. I don't care if it's just on YouTube. I have to have it. Because this stuff got to move around my body. I need to know what's going on. Mm-hmm. And being present with self. I often tell people, like, it's really just about being present with yourself. Especially at this age. You don't want to tear something. You don't want to break something. You're going to stay present with yourself. I don't want to stretch this thing too far and tear something. So you stay present with your body. It's very important. You got to stay with your body.
For those of you who have not read it, The Body Keeps the Score. Which leads me to displacement. That's the next one. This is when you have, let's say you're upset with your boss at work, right? Mm-hmm. And you can't take it out on your boss because you get fired because them out. So you come home and take it out on your family, your kids. That's displacing your. That's what it is.
Feeling what you call it in my head when she was. You ever seen that black and white video? I can't think of their names right now. They're very famous, but she was telling him, when he goes to work and lies to his boss, smiling in his face, and he's smiling.
I saw that clip. The woman
and lie to me too.
Lie to me. Right, exactly. Right. No, she was complaining about displacement because he couldn't not cuss his white employer out and do anything about that. He came home, was mean, drinking and cussing the kids and the family out.
I've seen that happen so many different ways.
And we displace, let's say you're hungry and someone your partner let's say your partner says something that you think is silly, you're quicker to snap at them like, oh my god, turn left. You know, the shortness is really displacing that energy onto someone else because you're really hungry or upset about something else.
Right.
Intellectualizing, my absolute favorite. Not intellectualizing is when there's a little bit of rationalization here too, because we'll talk about both of them in tandem. So intellectualizing is when you look at the ones and twos, the data of the information. This is when you keep your feelings separate. You're just reading the information. So someone who gets, let's just use this. I have a client. They were a cancer patient or survivor at the time. I think cancer had came back. And I said, so how do you feel about, your diagnosis? And they told me everything about it. Oh, they could tell me all about the diagnosis. They could tell me everything about the treatment. But when I asked how they feel, they couldn't tell me how they felt about it. They were intellectualizing as a defense mechanism because they were scared of, obviously, the obvious on the wall, right? Nobody wants to have cancer. But intellectualizing kept that person safe, thinking about the information and going online and looking up the things, right, all about it, reading the articles and things. And again, it keeps them out of their feelings and keeps them into the logic and cerebral so they stay safe. The next one is rationalizing. This is a little like intellectualizing, but this is different. This is when you make excuses for something. So for bad behavior. So let's say a partner cheats or a partner is drinking or a partner is doing something they have absolutely positively no business. And this is a bad judgment call. There you go. Look at the feelings, Will. Look at you. Oh my God.
I was one of those intellectualizers. I just wanted everybody to know that you can go on Amazon and you can order you one of these. If you feel like you're one of those people that intellectualize your feelings, this is a feelings wheel. You've probably been wondering how you can move into this, but if you just go to this chart, it's very helpful. It's front and back. It comes with little miniature stickers and everything to help you out. I just want to throw that in there because it's very helpful to me to come out of that intellectualizing.
Snap, snap. Yes, intellectualizing is so good to come out of. And yes, identifying your feelings. I feel blank because, so of course we did that with her. We got the feelings wheel, the pillow, and she was able to say, I feel sad. I feel disappointed. I feel frustrated. It doesn't say stop looking up the things she was looking up to learn about it, but she needed to dial down and find out what she was really feeling about it so we could do some work. Rationalizing, again, like I said, is justifying behavior. A partner's doing something they have absolutely no business. Or your job or anybody, anything. It's when you make an excuse for bad behavior. So let's go to what we're talking about today. Core values is why we're here. So rationalizing is how core values get obliterated because something has happened that has tampered with your core values and you rationalize why that was okay to happen to you. And there you go. And then they're back. And there you go. And they're back in your life again because you said it was okay.
Yeah. Because that's when you never, like, everyone around you will tell you everything and you'll be like, no, it's okay. You think you're giving them grace. You think you're giving them the benefit of the doubt, but really they're just crossing all your boundaries.
Right. Every single one of them. But rationalizing. So when the boundaries cross, we think we're compromising when we're really rationalizing. So compromise is different because that's good behavior. Those are healthy things. When we are rationalizing, remember, that's bad behavior. These are things that we're justifying that we should not justify. That's why we're using the word, you're rationalizing that. That's not good. You're making that make sense and it don't make sense. Right?
I do it all the time. I mean, I know that but they got a lot going on.
Right, they have a lot. They have a lot going on.
Like you got a lot going on too. You can manage, but it is what it is.
Right. Period. Undoing. That's the next one. This is the undoing. Undoing. This is I've done something wrong. I want to do something to assuage my guilt. The guilt's too much. I don't like how I feel, so I want to do something. So I'm gonna apologize, buy you flowers, give you a gift, give you something to apologize to make this right. Those are not bad, but those can be leading to love bombing. So we have to be very careful with the undoing. You see what I'm saying?
It's just going to repeat the behavior. Yeah.
Right. But undoing, it is a defense mechanism because I've done something wrong. I'm sorry. Right? Passive aggressiveness. Oh, do we even have to talk about what that is? I think everybody knows what passive aggressiveness is.
They may not, because I
They
didn't.
may not. Oh my God, let's do it. So passive aggressive. Okay, notice the word aggressive is still in there. It's just passive. So rolling eyes, not talking to people, stonewalling. You're in a relationship, you don't talk to your person 3 or 4 or 5 days. You know, that it would be considered passive aggressive. Let's say example.
Talking about what's going on. You're just waiting for them to see that something's wrong.
Right.
And they're supposed to know what the hell is going on in your head.
The elephant's in the room. You're not talking to them about it. You're walking around not talking to them for days at a time. That would be considered passive aggressiveness. That's actually emotionally abusive as well. It's withholding your affection from the person. It's abandoning them as well. Emotionally abandonment, especially if you didn't talk about that. Especially if you didn't say, "Hey, I'm gonna take a few days to myself." Blah blah blah. You know, I don't know. It just could be. Again, no one's perfect, so everyone's able to do these things. Like I said, including myself, everyone's at the mercy of these. These are human defense mechanisms. Fantasies. Fantasy is a defense mechanism. Children do it all the time. They just go into their little world whenever things are not okay, right? It's like, yeah, I'm skating. You know, you met my son. He'll go into a play. He was like that last time we were talking. He'll go into a play world so quick. So yeah, fantasy is good. Now tell me where fantasy gets unhinged. So think about the person who loves the Lifetime movie network Hallmark movies, right? Mm-hmm. They could have that fantasy on their mind too much where they can't see the reality because they're lost in a fantasy world.
Big Bang Theory over here. Sometimes it's The Walking Dead, but it's usually Big Bang Theory. I was get completely lost in what they got going on.
Fantasy. It is a thing. It's a thing. So sublimation, that's the one that we talk about a lot. That's the one I want you to do. That's the one I think everybody should be writing down. Sublimation. That's the one you want to do more of. Instead of cussing someone out, go for a walk, punch a pillow, call a friend, karaoke, anything else, painting, drawing. I mean, there's literally 90. I'm gonna pull up this. There's a list. If you Google 99 coping skills, there's 99.
Sourdough.
Make sourdough. Go on lives. Teach other people. Yeah, there's quite a bit of opportunity there for that, for sublimation. That's what we should be doing more, and I do mean to use the word should instead of the other ones because they're just like converting unacceptable behaviors into more positive behaviors. Is basically what it is. Mm-hmm. Compensation, we know what that is. That was you don't feel adequate in one area, so you put more emphasis in another area.
And overdo it. Usually, if anyone's in this room, they probably overdoing it, overgiving, overcompensating, bending backwards, almost breaking, shrinking. Yeah.
Yep, all those things. We think about it more in a positive side too. So think about a person who's lost their hearing. They can compensate with better vision, or somebody who's lost their vision compensate with better hearing. Blah blah blah. Same thing with legs. The straight leg might be stronger because that one's weaker. We do the same thing with our mental health as well. We have the same type of compensations. So you may compensate, not you, but a person may compensate in one area, like being super, I don't know, super alpha, right? In one area because they may feel weak in another area. Yeah. Hence the.
That makes sense.
Right, they don't feel so strong in this area, so they can be more controlling, or I don't let this happen, or I don't let this happen, I let this happen. You know, being very controlling over that area because they're compensating for where they feel lacking in another area. Humor, my favorite, as you know from personal experience. I love humor. It's my favorite one. I use this one all the time. It's my favorite defense mechanism. Yeah, humor is good. It works until it doesn't work. It works until the joke don't land. As long as the joke lands, it's good. Obviously, people use humor to keep people away. A lot of comedians talk about that. You know, those are the most oppressed people as comedians because they laugh to keep from crying.
That's true. I've done that.
Yes.
And especially in like a passionate conflict type of conversation, or if the pain gets too great, I'll crack a joke just to like tear that energy to shreds just a little bit, to make just a little space for something good.
A little space, exactly. Just a little bit.
Been in situations where that wasn't necessarily appreciated, and I was like, whoa, I was just trying to like release the pressure a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not leaving the conversation. We could continue, but life is still here to be lived.
Here,
It's
like we're
not
still
over
right,
with.
exactly. That's the truth. It is. I love humor. Humor's my favorite. I think people need to laugh a little bit more than they do, in my opinion. Altruism is we got one more. Altruism is when you're giving back. So let's say somebody who used to be on drugs, they may start volunteer for a homeless shelter and really help them back. So it's, again, that's not bad. Of course, to a default, if you're over helping, overextending, that could be a problem. But altruism is not necessarily bad in itself. A lot of narcissists do that too, though. If I'm being honest with you, no, I'm being honest. A lot of narcissists and gaslighting people are really big on altruism. They like to give, and their hearts are so big, but they're doing it from an empty space. It's the truth. You gotta watch out for you.
Not,
You gotta
I'm
watch
not
out for that
defending
one.
them. I know how it goes.
Yeah,
That
there's
part,
a lot of altruism.
you know.
And then aim and ambition. Let's say I want to be a football player, but I didn't make the cut in NFL, so I end up being a high school coach. Or I want to be one of Beyonce's backup dancers, but I can't, so I end up, opening my own studio here in the local area. Aim and ambition is not necessarily a bad thing, but depends on how you feel about that aim and ambition. Some people don't like, that they had to aim lower and like it bothers them, their ego. They wish they could have been more, I wish I had more college, more education, things like that. Or I wish I had, put my money better.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah. So, yeah, anyway, that's it for those are the common ones. There's more. That's just 21. There's more than that. And if you want to know where I got them from, Sigmund Freud's daughter, Anna Freud, she took up his study after her father passed away. And she began to uncover more of the subconscious mind. So, of course, Sigmund Freud talked about the ego, the ID, and the superego, which all of that is basically astrology 101. He just took and renamed it. He said to himself, I believe the ancients have it wrong. They called it the sun, the moon, and the rising. But we know better with the European mind that we should call it the superego, the ID, and the id. And that's what he said. And so thus they called it something different. But if you really want to know what it is, if you want to kind of bypass all the psychology, just go straight to astrology and go to your sun, your moon, and your rising and get a handle on that bullshit. And that can take care of your defense mechanism right there. If you want to know, I don't know what are my defense mechanisms? Go to your sun, your moon, and your rising, whatever you are. If you have a whole bunch of fire in your chart, you're probably an asshole. If you have a whole bunch of water in your chart, you're probably very emotional. If you have a whole bunch of air in your chart, you probably think too much. If you have a whole bunch of earth in your chart, you're probably stubborn in your ego. But if you want help with that, you can find me. You can work with you one-on-one on your ego. I do work with people like that one-on-one with their elements. If you like people to work with astrology and psychology, I'll do that.
So, anybody that just popped in, we're basically talking about core values and cognitive distortions. Core values are basically rules you live by when nobody's watching. They're your compass, not your costume. Just basically what you value dictates what your life, how you dictate your life, how you move. And if you fail to communicate these things to people around you, it kind of leads you into conflict and pain and just suffering. So it's good to know what your core values are and how to move forward. And where cognitive distortions are, well, she just went so deep into that, honey. I can't even break that down into a synopsis because you just did an excellent job of letting us know all the ins and outs of, wait a minute, we got ego, we got gaslighting and all these other things. So all of these are very important for our relationships going forward, and keeping an eye on self. As Doc says, we're not actually healing, we're just becoming more self-aware.
Right.
And that's what we've been basically talking about from the aspect of core values and cognitive distortion.
Another word for it is thinking. So they coined that phrase. So like if cognitive distortions, because it's a very fancy word for saying negative thoughts, but they're not just negative thoughts. When people think of cognitive, I wish I had like a visual. I want them to picture glasses on their face, but they're dirty. The glasses are dirty as hell, and they have different ways. Not only they're dirty, but because I don't think that's good enough. Because some people, they don't do all of them. They don't do all 8. it's like each lens comes with something different. So people who personalize, that's different. People who black and white thinking, shoulds, minimizing. There's so many of them, and we do them quickly in a conversation. We do them in a matter of seconds in a conversation.
What
So
you
people,
should be doing,
yeah,
what you should have did, first of all, just my experience. I know
no,
what you would do in this situation, but here's what I did and what I want to do, and that's
no,
it.
it's disheartening when you have someone say that you should have known their expectations based off of, and a lot of people do this. Well, you should have known because I told you once, I told you before, you knew how I felt about that. You wouldn't like it if someone did it to you. And so those are the reasons that they give themselves why they could say that to you. This is why they won't stop saying should to you. For those of you who like, they should, if I show them this, they'll stop doing it. They won't stop it. They won't stop saying should because they justify. I just showed you defense mechanisms. They justify, they rationalize why that makes sense. So they won't stop it. They'll show them the diagram and they'll look at it. You can show somebody to their face where those words are not good. That is a cognitive distortion, and they'll still go, nah, nah, because you wouldn't want the way to do it to you because you did this and you did this and you did that. That's where the accountability comes at, and I won't use those should statements unless they're valid. Which is what you're talking about, the healing part. Everyone's not ready to lay that down. Some people are still going to keep that because it keeps them safe.
Mm-hmm. Lately here I've been like, I really miss the blissful energy of being outside of the matrix.
Yeah.
I really miss not caring about any of these things and just
Yeah.
going along about my day. You
Yeah.
love me? Let's be together. You don't? Go over there. I'm going over here. Like, is not even caring about the wounds. But without that, I wasn't very successful. So here I am. I'm in the matrix, picking it up,
It makes me
picking up what you're
frustrated.
putting down.
It makes me. Can you imagine how I feel as a therapist, and as a therapist dating, and I hear people say should statements?
Cringe. Cringe.
It makes you want to crash out. Ah! Here's the
I
diagram
remember
from
in a
Fort Hays
session
University that says you should not. Oh my God! It makes you just want to go. Oh, it makes you want to scream.
you did actually scream on one of my sessions when I said, well, she said I should. You said, she said what?
I know. Oh my God! Because it makes me cringe. Like when my clients come and tell me my partner said I should. I'm like, oh. Where are these rules? Where are these rules that you should have done? Because it's basically saying I needed to be in your head at the time of the event to know how you felt about that. And I needed to do something to make that stop.
Yeah.
No.
And I think in relationship, in connection, I think a lot of us forget going along the way, we're still learning each other. You are learning each other. You're not going to know every little in and out of your person. That's almost virtually impossible unless you're literally in each other's skin and body and soul. And you have to take
No, I don't like that.
as you go. And you
You
have
should
to
know I don't like that.
you have to give your partner time for that expansion, each other time for that expansion and inclusion. Yeah, I'm not going to know that you wanted extra cheese on your pizza if this the first time we can ordering pizza. I got less cheese because I thought you were lactose intolerant. What the?
So those ones are easy to spot. I like those kind. When you meet somebody and they're first dating you, I like those are great. You hear someone saying you should do this and you should have did this, leave them alone. It's the ones when you get into the relationship and you're locked in and they
Even then, still.
Yes,
New experiences are happening every day.
Every day. And
especially if you work in like let's just say our type of work. You're a therapist, I'm a barber. We're meeting different people every day. So if something happens with a client and then my partner's uncomfortable with what happened with the client, I'm just telling them a story and then they're going to tell me, well, what you should have said.
Yep, that part.
I just met this dude. I don't know why you saying I should have said it like that. But you could have said what you could have said, or going forward.
What you could have done was that, but why would I? So some people feel like I said, you said it earlier. You said you learning each other, missing marks. Some people don't do well with other people missing marks. So let's talk about, can I talk about personalization?
Yeah.
It's my favorite one. Personalization is a cognitive distortion, a negative thinking pattern. Is when you relate everything to yourself in a positive way or a negative way. So you can say, "Oh, I'm prettier." They're not. I'm stronger. They're smarter. So it doesn't matter if you're on the positive end of that comparison or whether you're on the negative end of that comparison. Any comparison at all is personalization. I'm gonna say this again. Any comparison at all is personalization. Any of it, don't matter. I don't care what you say. That's what it is. That's the definition. So if a person's comparing themselves, whether they're on the losing end or the better end, the fact that your worth is on the table at all is the problem with that.
Yeah.
Because as soon as the person who comes out on the better end, as soon as someone smarter, stronger, funnier comes along, your ego is gonna take a hit.
Yeah.
And on the other side, if you're always they're better, they're stronger, they're smarter, she can sing better, they can dance better, they have more emotional intelligence than me, all that, whatever it is, you're on the losing end. Now your esteem is low. Here's the other one. There's another type of personalization that we don't talk about. This is the one that I love to talk about because narcissists love to do this one. So if you have any narcissists or gaslighters, listen up. If you have any gaslighters, this is their favorite thing to do. If you want to know why they're annoying you, it's because they personalize everything. That's their favorite favorite cognitive distortion. So what I mean by they relate everything. Imagine a woman coming home from the store. She's complaining about groceries. It's the bills are going up. Her husband or partner may take that as attack against his manhood or their manhood for being a breadwinner because he takes what she's saying as a hit against him. So another person, a business partner, complains that he's tired, and the other partner takes it as, "Oh, you're tired of being in business with me." So everything you say is something about them. They take everything personal. Everything goes back to them. Again, ego, self-centered, is all about them.
And that's a narcissistic trait.
Absolutely. How do you think you get in walking on eggshells? Because they take everything personal. So you shut up. You stop talking about things because it's going to relate back to them. Yeah. Come on. It goes back to them every time.
I think in my head I'm confusing moments where it was actually about me. They were literally saying, "But you," and I'm like,
yeah, but it was about them. Remember, that's why you did something. Yeah, yeah. Remember in the scenario, the man who's not. The woman who's complaining about the prices of groceries, she's complaining about prices of groceries. He's taking that as an attack on his manhood.
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
Trying to say I can't afford groceries. Yeah.
Now look and think about what that conversation would have sounded like. That conversation would have ended back up with, "You're always complaining. It's on her. Stop complaining about it." He would want her to stop complaining.
I got you.
So he can feel better. They love it. They love it. It's their favorite.
That makes sense.
They love the person. It has to be about them.
I was trying to apply it, see where it applies.
It has to be about them. Because everything relates back to them.
Yeah.
That's the ego, very self-centered, very egocentric. Yeah, personalization is my favorite one to talk about. They do it all the time. Can't help it. It's always about them. Them. How you hurt them, what you did to them.
And all of these things, we feel it in our bodies. We just don't know how to name it. We don't know what it is. We contract, we feel it. Sometimes it turns into sickness or a headache, or, you can feel it anywhere in your body. All this stuff is stored.
Yeah, if you're wondering about, like you said earlier, about core values being tampered with, is a boundary being crossed? You feel it in your body. You feel it in your arms, your neck, your chest, your stomach. Your body will give you an alarm to say something wrong is happening here.
And these cognitive distortions directly mess with our values. They're intertwined.
Absolutely.
Right? Okay.
Absolutely. So if you have if you have cognitive distortions, right, or you're riddled with them, so basically, say you have a whole bunch of different sunglasses that are all negative, they're all smudgy, your glasses are very dirty, you can't set good boundaries because you can't see nothing. How do you set boundaries? I mean, how would you set? How would you draw with dirty glasses on? Imagine drawing with dirty glasses on. That's essentially what you're doing when you got bad boundaries and got cognitive distortions. Everything is through a negative lens. I want to find that. I want to find that picture. I hope I do. It's a picture of a whole bunch of different stick figures with cognitive distortions. Hope I find it. I should have had it ready. And I do need shit for that one.
What is it called? Well, that's gaslighting yourself. Never mind.
What?
I was about to say, because like sometimes our own minds can trick us, but that is like when we gaslight ourselves. You talked about it earlier, where we make excuses and
Justify, rationalize,
yeah, justify and rationalize. Yeah.
And we do that. We do that as an effort to make sure that we keep, and that goes into attachment styles, right? So let's say I have anxious attachment, and I do not do well with losing my partner because it feels like death. Like it feel like actual literal death, like grief. You'll find yourself accepting things that you wouldn't want to accept, like, oh, it's not that bad, or we can get help. It'll be okay. It should work out. You'll find a way to justify it. And especially if they're narky, they're gonna help you. Oh, the narcissist is gonna help you justify it. They're gonna say it wasn't their fault anyway. It was yours. So there you go.
Or they'll start you off with oh, let's have a clean slate, and then the slate is clean, but now all we want to talk about is your reaction to what they did, but we're not going to talk about what they did.
No, that wouldn't help them. That wouldn't help. That would not help their case at all. They would not want that. They would prefer it to stay the other way. Any questions about that one? I'm looking for this picture. You can continue on though. I'm trying to find.
On these two matters, I don't know. My brain is spiraling with all the information you've given us.
There it is. Oh, I found it. I'm just so excited. Oh, this is perfect. Right on time. All right. So I love these. I use this every day. This is what I was talking about. When I say the cognitive distortions, let's look at the glasses. They're looking at everything through a negative lens. So think about all these like this. They just have different lenses. Mm-hmm. This is the all nothing, the blamer. This is the what if this, what if that, what if that? I don't know. This is you got a single piece of evidence. Oh my God, this happened to me. Oh my God, this happened to me. Oh, this happened to me. Got a single piece of evidence. I know what you're finna do. I know what's finna happen. Mm-hmm. Yep, I gotcha. But in this case, they're looking for negative things, though. They're not looking for positive. It didn't happen. This is someone, you're so beautiful, you're so smart. Oh, I need to do my hair. Oh, I need to do something. They got to find something else.
It seems to me like there's an easy fix to all of these.
There is.
Get curious. Ask questions.
Yes, thank you for saying that. There's an easy thing for this. Just get curious. Just ask questions, and all this can go away.
Yeah. Don't all or nothing. Don't blame them. Don't catastrophize, and don't jump to conclusions. Ask questions. Get curious.
But again, you have to go to therapy to find out that you're even doing this type of stuff, because most people don't even know they're doing it. Look at this one, emotional reasoner. This is the people who will write these long poems and post them. Their head is over their heart over their head, I feel this way, so therefore it is. No. No. This is my other one, fair. It's not fair. Yes, these are my fair judger. They don't like things that are not fair. It has to be, again, we can talk about, you go to a therapist so we can talk about those in detail. If these are ringing your bell, this rings out to you, please go to a therapist so they can talk to you about all of these. Fortune telling, I know what's gonna happen, but this is in a bad way. I bet they're gonna cheat on me. I bet they're gonna lie. I bet they're gonna go back to their baby daddy. Those, whatever. I bet they're go back to their baby mama. Yep. Yeah, exactly. But this is a little different. This is the what if this, what if that. This is more I know what you're gonna do. This is the labeler calling your names out of your name. You're a cheater.
Is it a fortune teller if you're reading a pattern though?
Not at all. This isn't all these are in a negative light.
So
So
knowing the
this
difference
is
between reading patterns and just fortune telling is a big deal.
a big difference. Thank you for pointing that out, because this is not reading a pattern. This is little to no evidence, and you just know what's going to happen because based off of past experience. A lot of projection here. Same thing with the mind reading. They sound the same, but this is when you know what motivates them. This is just I know. This is I know what motivates you. I know why you did it. You did it because you're jealous. You did it because you're a lie. I know why you did this. And you don't know until you ask someone. You cannot mind read. You're not a mind reader. You got to ask questions. This is just everything's through a negative lens. No matter what it is, this person filters everything through the negative. They only see the dark side of things.
Okay, we gotta come out of like, I think it's getting a little too doctor. So that will kind of throw some of my followers off, I think, a little bit. We got to give them some real life examples
Give us,
because then
yeah,
they
give
will
me
get
something.
like, oh, you're a fortune teller. Like, what does that mean? Like
No, let's
what
do
it
it.
looks
Let's
like
get
in
in
real
there.
life.
Fortune telling. Fortune telling is I know. I'm gonna go down to the child support office and they're gonna turn me around. I'm gonna go down here and get a car and they're gonna deny me for the gnome. I know what they're gonna do. I know what's gonna happen. As soon as I get into a relationship, they always cheat. I know what's gonna happen. You're gonna cheat.
And so this is what I often talk about, how psychology and spirituality meet. No matter what the religion is, no matter what book it is, they all pretty much say the same thing. They just have different words for it. Because what we say in spirituality is basically you're creating that. You are creating your life with this negative energy, and it's right there in psychology as well.
Right.
It's the same thing. What are you creating? You want to continue to create negativity? Oh, they just such a player. They just gonna play me. They just gonna,
They're just
you
gonna
don't
play me.
know.
They lying. They're not gonna be honest. They're not gonna be truthful. They're full of whatever. And you can't. They may be that. So I always tell people there's a difference between having intuition and gut instinct and fortune telling. So thinking back to somatic, like we were talking about earlier, how you know your boundaries being crossed, you feel it in your chest, you start having tightness, you can't breathe, your stomach starts hurting, you have different warning signs, your hands, your head, all things. This is not the same thing.
Right,
This is not the same thing. Intuition and fortune telling are not the same thing.
right,
That
right.
fortune telling is you're jumping to a negative conclusion every time.
Yes, I was like that once. I really had to rewire everything. I felt fear. Anytime fear kicked in, I was getting ready to go on a negative spiral. Nothing's gonna go well.
Exactly. Oh my God, I bet this is gonna happen, and then the spiral starts. The next one is like that I like to talk about is like labeling. People do that a lot because they have experience, and humans like to label things. That's a car. That's a phone. We like to do that. It makes us feel better to know what it is, to put a title on something. Because we know once you name it, you know how to use it better. This is why we tell people name your emotions. I feel sad. I feel mad. I feel frustrated. Whatever. Because once you know the feeling, you're able to curve the behavior. A lot of times we have behavior because you don't know what you're feeling. So it's just like people coming to me all the time, have anxiety. I don't know why I'm crying. I don't know. So let's find out what you're feeling so we can find out why you're crying. So labeling things are good, but when we start labeling people in a negative way, you're a crybaby, you're this, you're emotional, you're overly emotional, you have, you're too much, you too much, you too much. Those type of things. Yeah. Those are labels that don't make us feel good.
Yeah. So I want to refer back to my video for a moment here because I gotta put that in there. It's imperative. Um, the core values and your needs, they go hand in hand. And I know a lot of people, I'm just going to say people in general, oftentimes are always talking about, I don't need much. They're self-sufficient. They don't realize that the hyper independence is a trauma response. And then they get into these connections with people, whether it be a friendship or a workship or a relationship, and they say, I don't need much. But then towards the end, because you haven't gotten your core values in and you can't express that to someone, I have to keep reiterating this because this is the biggest point of having you on here and trying to get this across. When you can't convey to the person that you're talking to that you're initiating relationship with, what your core values are and what you honor and how you live, they don't know. So now later on down the line, when you can't get what you want, you're living in resentment because you're not getting what you want. You have this silent expectation that they can read your mind, that everyone's doing the same thing. But it's
Right.
how many billions people in the world? Everyone's doing something different. Everyone's believing something different. Everyone has a different understanding. Get your core values on a list, write them down on paper. Until Allison showed me how to do that, I didn't even know what the hell my needs were. I thought my needs were house, water, car, job.
You did. You did. You was like,
My needs are met. I don't need nobody for nothing. But that's not true. I need compassion. I need integrity. I need honesty. I need trustworthiness. I need faithfulness. I need steadiness. I need balance. I need so many things. And when I started going through the list, I was like, oh my God, I'm so effing needy. And that's okay.
and you realize, wow, I'm not getting
Nothing.
nothing. Yeah.
Nothing. And the crazy part is I
Yeah,
had
you
to take that
realize.
responsibility on. I had to take that accountability and say, no wonder why my relationships end up this way. They think I don't need anything. Oh, this she gonna be easy to please. And then I'm in there and I'm waiting on something that they don't even know what I'm waiting on. And now they can't give it to me because they signed up to give nothing.
Oh, I love it. Oh my God, yes. When your core values aren't there,
And
and you just lend to their core values. Now, when you start getting some of your own,
now it's a problem. Now you gotta go because I don't have the capacity to give you anything you need. And it makes
yeah,
sense.
no, this is true. Because when you don't have your own core values, right, and you lend to theirs, when you decide, hey, I'm not getting as much as I kind of want, like this is feeling one sided, because that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen every time. It's going to feel one sided. That's why you have to do core value. You have to have your own values listed.
Right.
Because once you're going to start, one, having resentment because you're doing things for them that you otherwise wouldn't probably do, but for the mission statement, I want the relationship, I want to be with this person. For that, you're crossing your own, which you don't have anyway, so you're just giving it to them. So once you start saying, hey, I don't like this, it's not feeling good in my body, you're gonna get pushback every time. Every time. Well, why does it feel
And
good
you
in your
said
body?
you didn't need much, and I'm not doing much. I thought that shit was gonna be okay.
Yeah, that was gonna be fine. So some people aren't ready for the relationship to grow and shift into healthier ways. There's times in every relationship when there's going to be a chance for growth. I call those growth opportunities. Some people call them fights, but I do find that those are growth opportunities where you can look and say, what did I do? What did you do? And how can we communicate better so that we can get on a healthier page?
Right.
And
And
that
I
can
and
be
I was vulnerable enough to put that out there because I know a lot of people do a lot of finger pointing when relationships are over. Oh, they said, they did, they went and they said and they. But let's be honest. Let's take accountability for our roles. Even if they cheated on you, didn't give you what you needed, let's take some responsibility and personal accountability. Did you even know what your needs were? Did you express that to them? Were you using all of these, were you gaslighting yourself half the time? Like, what were
right,
you doing? Were you shrinking? Were you not standing on your ground? Were you not steady because they weren't steady? Were you constantly following their lead? Were you never standing up for yourself? What did you do? Did you walk away when it was time? Probably not. Because
right, right. Did you accept bad behavior when you shouldn't have accepted bad behavior? Did you justify? Did you rationalize? And just being able to be honest about that. Um, but I think that's where people in relationships, that's where it goes left, whether it's friendships or otherwise, just relationships in general. When
and that
there's,
creates the pattern.
yeah, exactly. And I hate that for humans. If I'm being honest with you, from a higher mindset, this job makes me so sad at times because so many people do that. They don't have the capacities to have the conversation of what I learned and how I can do that better. It's almost like you've hurt me. That I can't with you. It's too, you got to know, you know,
And it's deeper than that.
it is actually.
Mhm.
But as you know, from doing your work as a barber, you hear a lot of stories.
I do.
It all makes full circle. I find like people always understand that you're never going to get around that. After working with the elderly in nursing homes, I definitely figured out that you're not gonna get around with that. You're not gonna escape the end of life without having to face
Yes, sir.
some of those cognitive distortions that you chose to live with.
And all of my clients, any of my clients that have ever had a private conversation with me will always tell the same thing. Trey is going to ask you, what role did you play? What did you do?
What did you do?
You sitting here talking about she said and he said and she said. What did you do?
Well, people are very ambiguous about that. Can we just be honest with you? Can we be honest with people? Some people are very ambiguous about that, about the part that they did. They'll say, I did stuff, or I wasn't. Let me tell you something, red flag, everybody. When you hear someone say, oh, the last one, I did stuff too. Or I wasn't perfect either. Y'all better ask more questions, because that I wasn't perfect either. A lot of narky people just say, I wasn't perfect. They won't tell you all the horrors that they did to the person. Or not.
I think it's an oxymoron, because what human being is perfect? If I ever meet a perfect being, I'm going to run from them.
Please.
We want these perfect beings, these perfect relationships, these perfect connections, this perfect love. Nothing is perfect.
I did stuff. I did some things.
What were those things? Why did you do those things?
Yeah, what were those things, and why did you do those things? That's a mind of a healed person. But for somebody just to a blanket statement, oh, they did stuff, I did stuff.
Yeah.
Y'all better watch out. The stuff is a lot.
And be mindful of projections, because a lot of people will use projections to tell you who they are.
Or that's another thing too. They'll tell you what they did. Narky people will tell you what they did, but then they'll blame the other person for what they did. They wouldn't have done that if the person hadn't did this. So they'll tell you the bad thing they did, but they'll also tell you that the bad thing they did, they had to do that because
avoidance. I'm not even gonna just say narcissism. Avoidance will do.
They called all kinds of stuff and told me I deserved it. So I definitely know it has happened. People do it all the time. Whether I'm in session, whether it's happened to me personally, yes, for sure.
Well, I just didn't want to be with them because of blah blah blah. Would you be like, wait a minute, I do blah blah blah?
Right. That's what you start. That's what I'm saying. It starts making sense after a while. Like you start adding it up. Listen to their stories. Like, hold on.
Yeah,
So why'd y'all break up again? Just crazy. Anytime, listen, everybody, all their exes are all crazy. The last one's crazy. Everybody's crazy. Or the other one, they weren't crazy. Just had a lot of issues, That's what they told you. She wasn't crazy. She just, I can't. I just can't be with nobody I can't trust.
Yeah, I'm glad that I can honestly, like, there used to be a time before I took my healing seriously. There were times where people would ask me, why are you single? And I would be like, man, I don't know. People crazy, Now I have actual answers.
Yeah, I got real answers now. Real answers.
I have real answers.
Somebody asked me on the table, but I have real answers.
Let me tell you, it's this. It ain't, and not one thing on that list has anything to do with anyone else.
No, it can't. It shouldn't. Yeah, that's when you have those core values like that, it makes it very, very challenging for someone to get past. Yeah. To obliviate your boundaries. I'm glad that you learned them. Look at you, go stars.
Absolutely. How do I'm trying to figure out how to put it back the other way. Okay, here we go. So now,
thank you for letting me on here. I love it.
Yeah, I'm gonna post this on YouTube. Are you okay with that?
I am. Thank you. Right. Thank you for having me on. We got to do this again sometime. It's absolutely been lovely. Absolutely.
Now, with the people that are left in the room, does anyone have any questions that they want to pose before we get up out of here? It's an hour and a half, so I'll probably edit it a little bit just in the beginning. Any questions? All hearts and minds are clear.
Thank you. I'm gonna get out of here. I do appreciate your. Oh my God, I love this. Thank you. I really had a great time. I want to love to teach again.
If you want Allison to be your therapist, you can go into my link tree. You can add her here.
Yes, you can add me.
He's available on BetterHelp.
I'm on BetterHelp. I'm on Headway, but I'm just using BetterHelp right now. I take insurance as well. If you're insurance, Headway. If it's just subscription, BetterHelp.
And you forgot the part, because most of my people are in LGBTQ, so you have to tell them that you are in our community, not just serving it.
Oh,
yeah. You kind of gotta, because they're that's kind of like the part that's been missing. Like we keep going to people that have no idea what it's
I
like to
thought
be
you
here.
told them. Tell them, Trey. You do it. Do the intro.
I mean, well, you have a rainbow in your name, so
Yeah, I have a rainbow in my name. I am a
yeah.
part of the community. I'm single and free and happy.
Yeah. So we speak from shared wisdom here, not shared lived wisdom, not just
Yes,
reading jargon from books. We actually live it, we talk it, we speak it, and we teach it. So
yes, we live from shared wisdom. I consider myself a wounded healer.
absolutely.
And I'm a work in progress. Even though I'm a therapist, I do not have all the answers. I just have a lot of knowledge and I have a lot of like here, go here and go there. Like I have a lot of directions.
Doctors need doctors, barbers need barbers, chefs need cooks too sometimes. So I'm just saying, nobody's perfect. And if you meet a perfect person, run.
Run fast. All right,
All
talk to you later. Bye.
right. Bye. Thank you. All right. Thank you all for showing up with your open hearts. I appreciate you all for being here.